My child just can't concentrate. Well, if I had $1 for every time a parent or a teacher said that to me, I'd have quite a collection, I think, because it's one of the biggest frustrations I hear. The feeling that our children jump from one toy to the next in 30 seconds, leaving just a trail of clutter and a very tired adult in their wake. But here's the truth, and it actually might surprise you. Concentration isn't a gift that some children are born with and others aren't. Concentration is actually like a muscle. It needs training and the right exercises to grow it strong. And this is what I want to share today, my Montessori framework that can turn your bouncing off the walls energy into deep, peaceful focus. And I've seen this in classrooms, in busy homes, and most importantly, in my nanny trainings around the world. And it works because it respects the child's brain functions. Without it. The first thing we have to look at isn't the child, it's actually the room. In Montessori, we call this the prepared environment. Think about it. Well, if you sit down to work at a desk covered in bold gadgets, half-eaten snacks, and 30 different pens, well, could you focus? Probably not. Your brain would be constantly called by all of this visual noise. For a child, an overflowing toy box is actually exactly like that messy desk. So when there are too many choices, the brain goes into scatter mode. And the first step to building focus is therefore to remove these distractions. This means two things. First, toy rotation. So take out about 70% of the toys. Just leave 5 to 8 high quality toys at eye level. And when a child can see exactly where an activity begins, where it ends, their brain will feel safe to settle down. The second thing, and this is the tough one, is we have to look at our phones. Because even though we're not showing the screen to the child, it creates a fragmented energy. There might be beep here or there. And deep focus actually requires a silent environment. So put the phones away to create this calm environment where your child can focus. Once the room is calm, we have to look at what the child is actually doing. Because if a task is too hard, a child will feel frustrated and quit. If it's too easy, they'll get bored and start throwing the pieces. So to get into the steep flow state, the activity just has to be right. So I want to share here a story from our nanny trainings. There is frequently nannies coming to me and saying, well, my child just can't concentrate. I give him activities and he just walks away. Well, we sat down and looked at the activity videos she sent, and there was a tray with bowls and beans and a very large spoon, and the child was only 2 years old. So there were too many beans to transfer, and the goal of the activity wasn't clear. So we made a small shift. We actually used two identical bowls and just very few beans and gave him a small spoon, a quite deep spoon. And suddenly that child could focus. He was sitting there for 15 minutes straight and was transferring. So he wasn't incapable of concentrating, but just the task was not at his developmental level. So this is the beauty of Montessori. We can adapt the materials to fit exactly the child's developmental age. Now, let's say you have prepared the room and you have set up the perfect activity and your child is working. They're pouring or they're sorting or stacking. And this is actually now the most critical moment because this is where most of us make a mistake. We see them doing well and we want to encourage them. So what do? We walk over and say, oh, look at you. Good job, honey. In that second, actually, the focus is broken. Concentration is like a fragile soap bubble. Every time we interrupt with praise or question, or even just by offering a snack, we actually pop that bubble. And in Montessori, we need to be like scientific observers. Our job is like to be like a fly on the wall. If your child is concentrated, do not speak. Do not correct them. If they spill, do not cheer. Simply sit there and let them finish their cycle of work. And in my nanny trainings, I teach nannies and educators to do the activity presentations actually in silence so that the child can concentrate on their hands. And when we stop interrupting, we will allow the child to find their own internal reward rather than constantly looking at us for a good job. Now, before we wrap up, I want to remind you that focus actually often comes from real work. Children are naturally drawn to what we do. And often a child who won't play with a plastic toy will spend 20 minutes scrubbing a table with a small sponge or peeling a hard-boiled egg. And this is what we actually call practical life activities. These activities have a clear beginning, middle, and end, and they require coordination and logic. And if you're struggling to find things that catch your child's interest, well, look at your kitchen. Let them wash the vegetables, let them help you matching socks. So these real-world tasks actually focus magnets for young children. They're just naturally drawn to it. So if you feel like your child can't concentrate, remember, first, clear the visual noise in the room. Second, make sure the activity is a fair challenge. And third, and most importantly, once they start working, enjoy and keep silent. And I want to challenge you today, well, watch your child and find just one moment when they're absorbed in something. And instead of stepping in, simply walk away. Let them enjoy the quiet power of their own mind. If you want more practical help, I have a free Montessori Nanny guide linked here in the description below. And I would love to see also your caregivers in our next training courses. Just send me a message with your location and I'll direct you to the next starting course. We have online and on-site courses. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.